Hello, everybody. This is Jonathan Washburn, the Dean of Mortgages, coming at you from Northeast Ohio today. I have a friend of mine, Ryan Kelly from Liberty Mutual Insurance. He is here today to go over a couple things. First of all, we are going to talk about 5 questions and answers that you need to know about homeowners insurance. And then stay tuned for the end. Ryan and I are both going to share our hottest football takes that we have for the NFL so far this season. So if you're here for the football, which I know a lot of you are, stay tuned to the end. We've got some good takes to go to bring to you today. So Ryan, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, and looking forward to those going over that football conversation. Lots to go over there as well.
Me too. Well, let's get started today. We have 5 questions. Like I said, some people have asked me, some people have asked you. People have about homeowners insurance. So we want to talk about this. These are the things that the people need to know when they're out there either buying a house or even if they're already in a home and they're just like surveying their insurance needs. Okay. All right. So number 1, this is a question I get all the time, right? Hey, my neighbor's rate is lower than mine. We have the same house, right? The guy 3 doors down from me is paying half what I'm paying, right? Why am I paying so much? And I have no idea how to answer this. So I need an insurance guy to come talk to. So Ryan, what makes somebody's rate go up or down? Is it them? Is it the house? What is it?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like you said, I get this one a lot too. There's so many different things that determine your rate. 99% of those things are behind the scene metrics that I don't even see or any agent sees. It's all behind the scenes stuff. But the major points that determine the rate are the specs of your home, the cost of construction. We know the cost of material, the cost to rebuild the home as is today. The area that you live in is a big one. Also, previous claims in your area, not necessarily your claims, but claims in your area are definitely a factor, which suck. You don't want to be paying a rate based on other people's claims, but unfortunately, all insurance companies do that. Your insurance history. So insurance companies know if you switch around a lot or if you have canceled on them without paying. Your credit score is also a factor. Although a lot of companies don't do a hard pull, they can do a soft credit score to see where you're at. Your gender, your age. So every company views those specific things differently. That's why if you call 5 different companies, you're going to get 5 different rates, just because those companies view those different aspects differently. So I always joke around and say you can't judge what your neighbor has because you're going to get the rate based on your information and not your neighbor's information. So it's really hard to say, hey, I got a friend down the street, but that unfortunately doesn't work too much with insurance.
Well, you just listed off like 8 or 9 different factors that all like go into the recipe. So yeah, that's crazy that all those different things can affect the price. So I mean, my brother has this rate, right? Can you do that? Like, I don't know. There's 7 other things we've got to, keep, factor in. So that is fascinating. By the way, anyone that's watching right now live, feel free to comment below, ask any questions. Ryan and I are here to answer whatever questions you may have as you're watching this as well. All right. Number 2, replacement cost versus actual cash value. Can you explain what this is and how it's going to affect the type of insurance that you have on your house?
Yeah, definitely. So with your personal property, some companies will give you replacement costs. Some companies will give you actual cash value. So the difference, actual cash value, if you have a TV that's 10 years old and that TV breaks, they're going to give you the value of that TV minus 10 years. So they take depreciation into factor. Replacement cost, they're going to give you the full value of that TV, no matter if it's 10 years old. So this is also big for the roof. A lot of companies, if your roof is over 10 years old, you're now going to get actual cash value for that roof replacement. Meaning when they go to replace the roof, if it's 10 years old, they might give you the cost minus 10 years to replace that roof. So when you're looking at your quotes, it's better to have replacement costs instead of actual cash value. Some companies will give you actual cash value just to lower your premium a little bit, but try to get that replacement cost so you can get the full replacement of your value if something was lost.
Gotcha. So it seems like this might be like, if we're going to compare it to car insurance, which I think actually a lot more people they probably have a little bit better idea about what's going on with car insurance, maybe than house insurance. So is this kind of like some companies are out there, they're like, hey, we can give you the minimum coverage required by law versus what you actually want on your car?
Definitely. So a lot of companies will do that. When you call 1-800 number, a lot of places will try to get you the lowest rate possible by giving you the crappiest coverage. You should really take the time to speak to an agent, go over all the coverages, make sure you know what you have them explain it to you. So that way, in the time of need, you know what you have and know what will be covered. Definitely.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay. So what about extra coverages? I know that the Browns secondary right now. I feel like they could use some extra different types of coverages. But what about extra coverages? Are there extra coverages on homeowners insurance? Are there other coverages that you think need to go hand in hand with somebody while they are looking at homeowners insurance?
Yeah, definitely. For homeowners insurance, the biggest thing I think should be combined is life insurance. Really, if you have a home, you have a mortgage, if you're looking to refinance with cross country mortgage, that's the time to get life insurance as well. I think they should go hand in hand. Um, if you have a mortgage, we have policies that are less than $1 a day. That if you weren't to come, or if you were to not come home today, this policy would pay off your mortgage and your family can stay in that home. So it's very important to have. A lot of people overlook it. I think they're invincible, but it's really something that should go hand in hand with home insurance and getting a mortgage. So also, if you have any high value items, maybe you have a ring, you have firearms, you have collectibles, artwork, any old fur, stuff like that. This is something that you can schedule separately. Yeah, it would be covered under your general home insurance policy, but then you'd be subject to your deductible. So anything of high value, you're going to want to schedule separately. At that point, it'll be covered with a zero deductible. So that way, if anything were to happen to those high value art pieces that you can't really get back, you're going to get the full value back for them. So anything over $1,000 in value, I would recommend scheduling separately. And if you do have anything over $1,000 of value, make sure you keep the receipt, take a picture, or get an appraisal. So that way, if anything did happen, we can get you the full amount back for that.
And I think because I've done this myself, I think if I remember correctly, it's usually very inexpensive to cover some of these valuables on the side or on top of, correct?
It is. Yeah. For example, I had a customer this week who just got engaged. They wanted to cover their $5,000 engagement ring. The policy was, I believe, $72 for the whole year.
Wow.
And then again, that is covered with a zero deductible. If anything happens to that ring, it's going to be replaced.
Wow. Yeah, I think my wife would agree that that's almost a no-brainer. We don't want
Definitely.
anything to happen to that ring. All right. Should I shop around? Everyone knows a guy, right? We all know a guy. We all have a friend. I have a friend that I've been, working with, for a long time that's handled my insurance needs, and I'm very happy with him. But is there a reason that, I should shop around with him or that I should shop around with other people? Should all of us shop around when it comes to insurance?
Definitely. That's a simple answer is definitely. Unfortunately, a lot of people think the longer you've been with a company means you're going to be getting a better rate, but unfortunately, it's not true. The longer you've been with a company, unfortunately, they will raise your rates over time. That's why I recommend shopping every 3 to 5 years. That way you keep your current insurance company honest and find out what is available for other companies. All companies are changing the rates all the time to be more competitive. So over time, your rates might be a little bit high if you had any accidents, violations. Even if you didn't, unfortunately, sometimes rates do go up based on your area. So every 3 to 5 years, I would recommend shopping around. I wouldn't shop around every year just because insurance companies do look at that and they can see if you jump around, and your new rate will be based on your insurance history. So I'd say a good thing to keep in mind is every 3 to 5 years. And I jokingly tell my customers all the time, you should be more loyal to your wallet than your insurance company that just takes your money every month. So,
Gotcha. All right. So I do want to give you the opportunity. I appreciate you coming on the show today. I do want to give you the opportunity to kind of, promote yourself, right? So what is so good about Ryan Kelly, about Liberty Mutual, besides those catchy jingles that I know is on everyone's minds? Liberty, 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 right? What's so good about you guys besides some of the catchiest jingles in the business?
let me tell you, I hear that commercial all day, and the customers feel the need to tell me it as well. And I don't mind it. I like it because it gets people to call. So, but most importantly, is our claims. We pride ourselves on our claims. That should be every insurance company's main point and main focus. The reason you have insurance is to get your stuff repaired when you do suffer a loss. We pride ourselves on being prompt, knowledgeable, and having fast service, getting everything repaired when you need it. Myself, I like to consider myself an educator. before I got into the business, I had no idea about insurance. I just know I needed to have it. So I kind of like to educate you, let you know what you have, what you need to have, make any recommendations off of your current coverage to your new coverage. Um, we also do have multiple companies we're able to quote with now. This is huge because Liberty Mutual isn't a good fit for everybody. Rates are different for everybody. So we now have A-rated carriers like Progressive, Nationwide, Travelers, a few others that we just want to make sure we can help everybody. But here with Liberty Mutual, we can help you anything from home, auto, most importantly, life insurance, but we're a one-stop shop to take care of you.
Awesome. Well, if you have any questions for Ryan, there's his information right there on the screen. Email is good. Phone is good. Text is good for you too, right? Right, Ryan?
That is correct. Yeah, you could text this number.
Perfect. So texting or emailing or calling Ryan right now or later today is totally a great idea. He's really good at just giving you advice, answering any questions you might have. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Ryan. Okay. Before we go, we have a couple NFL takes that we want to unload. I know a lot of people are still staying here for the NFL takes. So Ryan, all right, give us your hottest NFL take so far after week 2.
Well, I got 2 if you don't mind, but first one's going to be related to the Browns. Fire Joe Woods, our defensive coordinator. That seems to be the hot take for a lot of Cleveland fans around here, but I don't think we should fire our coordinator yet. I know our defense has been a little sketchy. I think we do need to apply a little bit more pressure to the quarterback. We have 2 of the best edge rushers in Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney. Why aren't we getting to the quarterback? But I think we just need to hold pat and let everybody gel, and I think we'll be all right.
Gotcha. I think we have 3 sacks through 2 weeks, which only 4 teams in the entire NFL are worse than that. That's just not going to get it done. Additionally, we have the worst third down conversion rate in all of football for all defenses. I think league average is 41% right now, and we are allowing our opponents to convert on third down 60% of the time. So those stats are concerning, but I agree with you, right? When yardage, we're fine. Points, we're not bottom of the league. I'm seeing some good things. I agree with you. I think they need some time to gel. And I also kind of think just in general, we may need to adjust our expectations for what good defense is now, right? You saw this in college a couple years ago. All of a sudden, you couldn't defend anybody anymore. It's just like good offenses always beat good defenses. And I kind of feel like the NFL is going that way, right? If you saw Sunday Night Football with the Chiefs and Ravens, no one's stopping each other at a certain point. So, we got a turnover this last week. We actually got 2 turnovers. So I think there's some good things in there that we can look at. I'm not ready to fire Joe Woods yet either, but the low sack rate and the horrible third down performance is something concerning to keep an eye on for sure. What's your second take that you got for us?
You kind of led into that. I'm glad you said something about the Chiefs. Everybody thinks the Chiefs are this great unbeatable force we just witnessed on Sunday night. They are not. Even on last Sunday, the Cleveland Browns, we had them. If there wasn't for a couple costly fumbles by Chubb and our punter, we definitely had that game. So I think the Chiefs, while they are big, bad, and have one of the best offenses, they are definitely beatable. So it's good news for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Chiefs very easily could be 0-2. I think I heard a stat this morning. 8 Chiefs opponents have been into the red zone 8 times this year, and they've allowed 8 touchdowns. So the Chiefs
got a lot of work to do.
They're beatable this year. I know Pat Mahomes is amazing, but I think they are beatable. All right, here's my hot take for all of my friends down there in South Carolina. I may live to regret this, but I'm coming in on this take early. Trevor Lawrence is not who you think he is. I think he's very possibly a bust. He has some of the best talent I've ever seen, but you know who he reminds me of? Another guy with some of the best talent I ever saw, Jeff George. You saw Trevor Lawrence in college, okay? His receivers were wide open on every single play. He can dump it off to Travis Etienne in the backfield and get a 25-yard play whenever he wants. He very, very rarely had to go through more than 1 or 2 progressions in Clemson because his guys were so good and defenses couldn't, stay on the field with them. I think you're going to see something different in the NFL. I know a lot of rookies are bad as rookies. I'm not making this proclamation based off of 2 games in which he's been bad, which he has been bad. I just don't see it with him. He doesn't get through reads. I think he's a little overrated. All my Clemson fans in South Carolina, I think you know he's not as good as Deshaun Watson. I think you know secretly that he may not be who we think he is. Ryan, how do you feel about that thought?
I completely agree. I didn't want to be the first one to say it, but I'm glad you did. And also, I don't know how long or the Urban Meyer is going to be there. There's already been talks around other NFL coaches that he might be a one and done. He might be eyeing that USC job, but
I would
wouldn't
not be
surprise me.
surprised. I would not be surprised if, like, after week 5 or 6, all of a sudden Urban Meyer's out and he's in Southern California. So I mean, he's been known to do that before. Well, Ryan, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. It really was a privilege. Everyone, let me throw that screen up again for you to see Ryan's information. Ryan.kelly01@libertymutual.com, 440-392-4204. You know who I am. I'm the Dean of Mortgages, deanofmortgages.com, youtube.com/C/the Dean of Mortgages. Thank you so much for joining us in the classroom here today. School is out.